You're watching 48 Fastcast.
All right, y'all, thanks for joining us for the 48 Fastcast. It is Friday, and we have a beautiful weekend on tap, my friends.
Certainly do. I mean, anything you might have planned outside this weekend, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the perfect weekend for it, Jeff.
It really is. I don't know how you can dial it up any better, unless you don't like warm and sunny in February and March, and then I get it. And I don't know really what you're looking for. Maybe you really liked the storms yesterday. They were pretty powerful, potent, driving in some heavy rain and some large hail. That's all out of here now. Madison 565, and the commute is underway. And you see the cars there moving around, getting ready for that Friday morning commute. I think the best morning commute of the week because it's almost the weekend. 40s and some 50s. And though you're waking up cool for parts of the area, just give it some time. Let the sun work its magic. It will do a really good job of warming you up. It's like free heat outside. Temperatures get all the way up into the 60s by noon. I mean, it's a fast warm up, and we don't get stuck there. We still have a few more degrees to go in the afternoon, and we'll get up to near 70. And the best part about today is sunshine, warm temperatures, no storms, and not much wind. The winds will be light out of the north, so if you're going to be out and about, maybe doing a little fishing this afternoon, you should be good on the waters. And then tonight, clear, cool, take you back to around 40 degrees. And though there may be a chill in the air Saturday morning briefly, it's going to turn out to be a gorgeous weekend, and I'll have more on Saturday and Sunday for you coming right up. Gina?
This is your 48 First Alert Road Report, sponsored by Bankston Motorhomes.
All right, Jeff, the weather looks great. Traffic also looking pretty good. Really no major issues or slowdowns. We did have that crash in the Tony area. This was on Ardmore Highway right near County Line or Old Railroad Bed Road. That looks to be cleared. It's still showing up on the map, though. As far as Huntsville goes, seeing a slight slowdown there in Governor's Drive. And then in Decatur on 31. These were our slowdowns all morning long, so nothing too new here. I do want to take you down to Russellville, where we are seeing a bit of a slowdown here. This is on 243 in both directions. This has been going on now for several weeks. Your drive times right now looking good. Decatur to Huntsville about 23 minutes. Hampton Cove to Huntsville about 13. Jonathan.
All right, thanks, Gina. Well,
this is the first one that I can remember in the last 15 years that we find this type of predator.
Well, more details this morning on a criminal investigation of an Athens man. The FBI is now investigating Landon Westfall. Now, Westfall is accused of sending nude pictures to a teenage girl in Louisiana before trying to convince her to take her own life. Investigators now believe he had potentially other interactions with many other teenage girls. Westfall is currently in jail in Louisiana. A deputy with the sheriff's office there says that Westfall started talking to the teenager through an online gaming platform called Roblox. We're told this all began back in 2023. Now, Limestone County Sheriff Joshua McLaughlin says this case shows some of the dangers of talking online.
You need to talk with your children. You need to make them aware of the dangers that are out there. Don't assume just because they're on a platform or a gaming platform that's developed for children that there's not adults in there, there's not predators out there looking for them.
Well, investigators in Louisiana believe that Westfall tried to make that teen girl hurt herself as a show of loyalty. The LaForce Parish Sheriff's Office in Louisiana says Westfall admitted to having similar conversations with other teen victims. Now, FBI investigators are working to determine if those cases cross state lines. Westfall is currently facing a number of felony charges, and if convicted on every count, could spend thousands of years in prison. Well, Lauderdale County authorities should update us later today on the name of the man they say led them on a chase. We're also told that man jumped out of the car before running into a pond and drowning. Now, they all say this all started yesterday afternoon in the Anderson area. Lauderdale County deputies were notified that a man had possibly stolen a vehicle there. The sheriff's office tells us that man sped away after authorities found him. We're also told he tried to run over a deputy. Deputies then began to fire at him. This led to a chase along Highway 207. The man later got out of the car and jumped into a large pond. His body was later found a few hours after this. Lauderdale County Sheriff Joe Hamilton tells us this case shows how dangerous working in law enforcement can be.
There's certain training and tactics they use in a situation like that. But again, they're out here trying to protect this community, trying to recover a stolen vehicle, trying to arrest somebody with a warrant. And I'm very proud of the job that they do.
Now, we're also told that the suspect had multiple warrants out for his arrest. No word on what those warrants were for.
Lawrence County investigators have arrested a couple they say badly beat their infant son and left him with severe injuries. Cecil Porter and Nevaeh Odell are accused of beating their child so badly that they fractured his fibula and tibia, a broken jaw, and then fractured his skull as well. The infant also had a brain bleed. Now, our media partners at the Decatur Daily say Porter and Odell told authorities they dropped their child in the bathtub, and that's how he had those injuries. Thankfully, the baby has since been released from the hospital. He's currently recovering in foster care. The case against Porter and Odell is being presented to a grand jury. Huntsville police are now partnering with the FBI to find and arrest child predators. They've decided to come together to form a new task force. City council members have voted to form the Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force in North Alabama. The goal is to make it easier for authorities to investigate child sex crimes and arrest abusers. Huntsville City Administrator John Hamilton tells us the new effort will help keep children across our area safer.
It's a type of crime that is becoming more and more pervasive because of access to online resources and new technologies actually making it easier for criminals to commit these acts. And so it's an area that we've had to focus on even more than we might have, say, 10 or 20 years ago. So as we see the crime grow, we've got to put the resources against it, and this is a good way for us to share resources and do the job much more efficiently.
Huntsville police officers who currently investigate human trafficking and child sex abuse cases will be working with the FBI in this new task force.
Well, happening right now, several Huntsville elementary school students are recovering after being hurt in a bus crash. Those students attend Jones Valley Elementary. They were hurt after someone swerved out in front of the school bus near Parkway Place Mall. The bus driver had to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting the vehicle. The 4 students were taken to the hospital and are all expected to be okay. Also happening right now, Huntsville investigators are trying to figure out whoever threatened a school employee and several parents. Randolph School had to close yesterday because of this. We're told that someone started sending threatening emails to that employee a couple of weeks ago, and they then started sending emails to some parents there. Huntsville police believe whoever is responsible is running some sort of fraud internet scheme. Now, classes are set to resume later this morning.
Well, time right now is 7:07. If you live in Huntsville, your child's school could look a lot different in the next few years.
Yeah, Huntsville City school leaders gave an update on their ongoing capital plan during last night's city council meeting. 48's Matthew King joins us live from the district central office. And Matthew, this plan lays out future projects for the entire school district.
Yeah, it's every project the city school system is working on for the next 8 years from now. That includes upgrades to schools, renovations at schools, additions to schools, and even some new schools to help maintain the growth of the city that they're experiencing. The district leaders are focusing on several projects throughout this time, but right now they're focused on the turf fields, replacing them at the ball fields at every high school. That's to make sure they can play in rainy conditions. There will also soon be a new Montview Elementary and Chapman Middle School. Each of those schools will have a STEM element to them. And more 6th graders will also be moved to area middle schools instead of elementary schools where some still are. This includes a new addition of a 6th grade wing at McNair Junior High. A new school is also planned for the booming southwest part of the city in Limestone County. School leaders say they're working closely with the city to manage and plan for long-term growth.
When homes are being built or land is being brought into the city, we know exactly how many homes are being permitted that are going to be built in a particular year. That gives us the ability for our CFO and superintendent to make good decisions on whether we need to expand schools, do we need to build a new school, or what are the things that we need to do to make sure that we accommodate that.
And this is a 10-year plan that started 2 years ago in 2024. It's going to go till 2034. In total, about $600 million of school funds invested into these schools. Reporting live in Huntsville, Matthew King, 48 on your side.
All right, thanks, Matthew. Well, now to a 48 News update for a story that we brought you first yesterday. A Boaz woman who was reported missing has now been found safe. Boaz police tell us Latasha Brothers returned home yesterday evening. She was initially reported missing yesterday morning. Now, investigators were worried about her because she does have a mental illness.
All new this morning, Scottsboro police have arrested 2 people after they say they found various drugs and a gun with an altered serial number in a home. Now, you can see some of what they found here on your screen. Porter and Elton Mitchum were both arrested following a search at a home on Perry Street. That's near Tupelo Pike and East Willow Street. That search happened on Wednesday. Police tell us they found a lot of drugs and a rifle with a defaced serial number. The drugs found include marijuana, THC wax, and multiple prescription medications. Packaging materials and a different gun were also found. This is a look again, a closer look at everything authorities say they found. Both men are facing numerous drug charges. They've also both since posted bond.
Buddy means a lot to my family because he was my son's dog. My son loved him, and that's all I have left of my son. In a million years, I never thought that somebody who lost a dog would be subject to people scamming them or trying to get money from them.
Well, now to a scam warning. One Alabama woman says fraudsters tried to trick her after she lost her dog. Laura Steiner was walking her dog Buddy when he ran off this past weekend. She immediately put up flyers and even posted on social media, hoping that someone would spot him. Now, while many neighbors did offer to help, other people tried to scam her.
Somebody called me and said that they were from the emergency vet clinic, and they gave me his name. He gave me an address and he gave me a phone number and said that they had my dog. And then he told me he was going to send me instructions to go to a FDIC kiosk and make a payment. And he told me the amount was $2,846.
Now, she also says the scammer told her that Buddy had been hit by a car, and that caller also then sent a picture of a dog on an operating table. That's when Steiner knew something was off. Now, she says the whole experience has been especially hard since her son died back in January. Buddy was actually her son's dog, and Steiner took him in after her son died.
Tennessee lawmakers are considering a bill that could force the closures of a lot of pharmacies. Now, if approved, pharmacy benefit managers would not be allowed to acquire or control a pharmacy license if that license helps them make money. Pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, decide the rates insurance companies pay pharmacies for drugs. Supporters of the bill argue that it will create important regulations in the pharmaceutical space. However, officials with CVS say the bill could cause healthcare chaos across Tennessee and force them to close more than 100 locations. They also warn that hundreds of pharmacists would lose their jobs. The Senate bill has been referred to a subcommittee. Over in the State House, the subcommittee there is also considering a similar piece of legislation.
Well, we have an important traffic alert to pass along this morning. Your morning commute might be a little slower if you live in the Florence area, and this might last for a couple of days. That's because crews are planning to start working on demolishing the Mitchell Boulevard Bridge over the State Route 20. This is right off of the area of Coffee Road and South Court Street. Now, that work is expected to begin on Monday, and it will last for quite a while, for the next 2 years at least. The current bridge is nearly 90 years old. Crews with the Alabama Department of Transportation will be tearing down the old bridge to build a new one.
Well, it's going to be a big sports weekend for Huntsville.
Yeah, the Huntsville Sports Commission is hosting the Huntsville Spring Shootout, which is a soccer tournament, and the Southeastern Swimming Short Course Championship. 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy joins us live in front of the sports complex, and that's where that shootout will take place this weekend. Sarah Grace, organizers say they're expecting thousands of visitors to the area this weekend.
Mark Russell with the Huntsville Sports Commission tells me that this is going to be a big weekend for sports tourism. He tells me that hundreds of soccer players from all across the Southeast will be competing here tomorrow, and that doesn't even include the families and supporters that are planning to come as well. And the Southeastern Swimming Championship is bringing over 900 athletes to compete in the weekend-long tournament. They're also expecting over 1,000 fans to attend. Russell says a big economic benefit from this is going to come from out-of-town teams staying in local hotels. Russell tells me why the Sports Commission invests in events like this.
Obviously, economic impact is one of the reasons the Sports Commission exists. We want to bring people into town, especially to stay in our hotels on the weekend. We want people to know all the great sporting facilities we have. We want to tell everybody in the United States about Huntsville, really in the world, and come here and see what we've got.
The Huntsville Spring Shootout will have 14 college soccer teams here tomorrow, and there will be multiple games playing at the same time, so fans will be able to walk around and catch multiple games throughout the day. Live in Huntsville, Sarah Grace Kennedy, 48 on your side.
Now, your 48 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist Jeff Denoyer.
Sarah Grace is glowing in that live shot with all that sun hitting her blonde hair. Look great right there. That's all the sunshine in the forecast here. East Limestone looking good. 47 degrees. We've come a long way in the past 12 hours. Went from strong to severe storms to clearing everything out and having a dry morning drive. Looks pretty good. Few clouds. No problems if you're driving to work. If you're lucky enough to have the day off, take advantage and be outside. Why not? Temperatures, no matter where you're starting this morning, we got some 30s and some 50s. We'll all get to the 60s. And if we're not in the 60s by noon when I'm on air then, I've made a really bad forecast, but I think we're going to be okay. We'll get up to 70 in the afternoon. I think most of you will be very happy with the day today weather-wise. Let's do it again, Saturday and Sunday. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Mid-70s Saturday, mid-70s Sunday, looking outstanding. We'll take a look at the upcoming week ahead and your 10-day coming up in just a few moments. Gina?
Jeff, thank you. Parts of the Tennessee Valley saw a lot of hail yesterday. We show you some of the areas that got hit hardest next. Welcome back in. If you have plans in Madison tonight, you may want to leave your house earlier than you initially planned. That's because late tonight, part of Wall Triana Highway will be closed. Crews will be closing Wall Triana at Liberty Drive starting at 10 p.m. This is right by the West Madison Pre-K. Now work is set to wrap up by 6 a.m. tomorrow. Detours will also be posted during this time. Happening soon, it will be a bit harder to drive through downtown Huntsville. Gallatin Street between Governor's Drive and St. Clair Avenue will have a partial lane closure. Now this is happening right by Huntsville Hospital. Crews are resurfacing the road there. Work started just about 15 minutes ago and it's set to finish by this coming Monday, March 2nd. Part of Old Trinity Road in Decatur will be closed on Monday. That closure will stretch between Woodall Road and McIntyre Lane. Decatur Utilities crews will be doing water work in the area. That work is expected to start at 8 a.m. Monday and wrap up by 4:30. Utility crews will be out at around 7:30 to start putting up cones.
What's happening this week in Franklin County? You can watch a fun basketball game, all for a great cause. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office and Red Bay Police Department are hosting the game. Proceeds from it will go towards helping cover medical expenses for two young boys. Those boys are Sawyer Knobloch and Paxton Brooks. Tip-off will be at 7 p.m. tomorrow at Red Bay High School. Doors will open at 6 and admission is $5. They're also accepting any additional donations you'd like to give. Our media partners at the Franklin County Times say 40 local businesses have already donated thousands of dollars.
Well, this morning, several residents throughout our area are working to clean up after some strong storms came through yesterday. This video sent to us by viewer Angie Garrison in Russellville. You can see all of that hail landing on her porch. Some of the hail even landing on the chairs there. And Allison Shepard in Danville is sending us this photo. You can see how big that hailstone is in her hand. Emiliano Hernandez sending us this photo of his back porch in Russellville, just covered there. Parts of Franklin and Lawrence County saw a lot of hail from those thunderstorms. Now, some viewers in Coleman County also sending us their hail photos this morning. This picture sent to us by Dorothy Metzger in Piedmont.
Now, your 48 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist Jeff Denoyer.
The hail reports get up to what we call 1-inch diameter hail. That's when you start seeing the warnings get issued for severe thunderstorms. We had that last night with some areas picking up hail. That was that 1-inch diameter hail, maybe even a little bit larger for parts of Lincoln County and Tennessee. So big impact yesterday with storms. We had a First Alert weather day. Now we transition to sunshine. And today turns out to be a nice day. Much quieter weather pattern today. A little cool this morning morning, maybe in Decatur at 47. But it's so calm. The air is like barely moving. There's no wind right now, so the water is like glass, and just an absolutely spectacular start to the day. And we're going to take it right into the weekend. We know today's great. Saturday, Sunday going for highs in the mid-70s, 0% pop chance or precipitation. It will increase to 20 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you think, it's going to rain every single day. But I would venture to say that it's going to be dry more than wet for the upcoming week. And what's nice is we get to keep the temperatures in the 70s. Even when we have a little bit more cloud cover at times, the temperatures stay above average for the next 7 days. Jonathan?
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, coming up, you have a chance to see some real-life cowboys and cowgirls this weekend. We'll show you where you can do that.
And Kitchen Cops is back. What restaurants made the grade and which ones need improvement next.
Kitchen Cops reports are in.
Yeah, the scores aren't too bad this week, but we do have a lot to get to, so let's jump right in. Now, the lowest score in the valley this week is at Saki's Food Mart in Tony. The Kitchen Cops found out the cooler wasn't even turned on, so foods inside were at the wrong temperature as a result. There was also a situation with some unlabeled chemicals in the kitchen, and an employee was seen not washing their hands before making a sandwich. Saki's ends up with a 77.
Well, we've got a trio of spots that just barely missed the passing grade, each checking in with an 83. The Circle K at Winchester Road and Homer Nance has mold on tomatoes and cooked items left out way past their discard time. Casa de Santiago in Decatur had no sanitizer in the dishwasher and lots of items in the cooler at the wrong temperature. And Helena's Mountain Market in Mentone had mold in the soda nozzles and an ice machine.
Here's a look at some of our top scores this week. We have locally owned businesses in Madison, Huntsville, and Somerville in the spotlight. You can see hundreds more scores right now in this story on the 48 News app and our website, WAFF.com. Well, you may need to wait a bit to get your recycling picked up if you live in Decatur. There was a big equipment failure at the city's processing facility yesterday. City officials tell us it could take a month to fix. Well, tomorrow you have the chance to see some real cowboys doing their thing in Huntsville. The annual Midwest Pro Black Rodeo is coming to town. Each year, dozens of cowboys and cowgirls show off their skills from calf roping to bull riding. Organizers say the event is critical to remembering the history of black cowboys and their impact on the U.S. You can find the event at the Alabama A&M University Agribition Center. It all gets started at 7 p.m.
Well, the Huntsville Havoc are hoping to snap a 5-game losing streak tonight. They're taking on the Peoria Rivermen in Illinois. The Havoc won't be back in town until March 20th when they take on the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. Huntsville's last win was back on February 7th against the Quad City Storm.
Now, your 48 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist Jeff Denoyer.
Hard to believe the Havoc will be on the road for so many weeks straight that the next time they play a home game will be when spring officially arrives. It's going to feel like spring this weekend, though. Right now, a little cloud cover for areas east. That's going to clear out fast. Here's Friday at 3 p.m. North wind 5 to 10. Temperatures nudge 70 briefly. Plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, clear through the evening. We track a little cloud cover tomorrow morning when I'm on air. I'll be talking about a little cloud cover for Scottsboro, Albertville, Fort Payne, areas like Higdon. But most of that will clear out so fast that tomorrow's another beautiful day. It's sunny. It's warm. The winds aren't all that strong. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s. It's really gorgeous for the Tennessee Valley, not just on Saturday, but for Sunday as well. Any outdoor plans, 2 thumbs up both days. Temperatures in the mid 70s. And the nights are refreshing and cool with temperatures falling back in the low to mid 40s with mainly clear conditions. We'll see if we can keep this great weather going for the week ahead. Coming up in your 10-day forecast, I'll share with you shortly. Oh, I got to walk to the 3 shot.
Jeff?
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Want to see you before we leave, my friend.
I didn't think that was this Fastcast is going so fast that I thought I had one more hit to go.
Yeah,
it did go fast today.
We'll wrap it up.
Went right by. Hey, we're trying to get to the weekend.
Yeah,
so.
we are. All right,
Apparently.
y'all. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you on air with more news, traffic, and weather.